A couple months ago, I bought these Ohuhu alcohol markers because Copics are really expensive, though the Ohuhu is not that cheap either. I think I spent $80 on 72 markers, but it's a lot cheaper than Copic. Anyways, even though I bought these markers months ago, I just started using it regularly. I would just sketch out a picture I saw and liked on the internet, and I was using sketch paper and not the mixed media paper, so it was spreading a lot, and I just wasn't liking how it was coming out. So I just decided that I'm gonna actually work at this more and take my time and make an effort. So what I did was look through my saved posts on Instagram and find pictures of outfits that I liked. It's kind of like fashion illustration, but I wouldn't call it fashion illustration. But I found 4 pictures and I worked on a different picture each day for 4 days. The first one I worked on, there's a picture of this woman. She's wearing like this iridescent sequin shirt and top. It's got like greens and purples and yellow, and the skirt has a split in it, and it's like loose to her body, and I really like that. So this is the first one I worked on. I didn't record sketching it out because it just didn't seem like fun. Like, there is a sketch, but I guess the camera didn't really capture it. Like, you can barely see it. So first I worked on her skin tone, then I drew her skirt and her top. I'm not sure how I feel about the colors and how they came out. But after I put down the marker, I started using these Prismacolors that I got like years ago off of Amazon. I just never really figured out how to make those nice drawings with the Prismacolors, like those like realistic things. So I barely use them, but I like using them with the markers. Using the markers just makes everything happen a lot faster, and then I can use the pencil for shading. So that's what I did. There's a lot of things I should have done differently. Like, for one, I should have shaded her skirt before I started like trying to do the sequins. You can't really do the shading and show how how the dress falls on her body underneath all of those lines I drew. And also, what I should have used was a liner instead of the Prismacolor, because I would have had thinner lines and I would have had like more control. It just would have looked so much better, but that's not what I did. Like, I like how I shaded her body, but I'm not really happy with how the dress came out because it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look like the reference photo. And I couldn't really capture the way the light reflected off of her outfit. I also was trying to shade her face and give her a face, which was probably a mistake. With the Prismacolors, you can't really do the fine details because my drawing wasn't that big. Like, it's smaller than my hand, so I couldn't really do those fine details on such a small face. So I just worked on how her top draped off of her body, and I tried to do the sequins on the top again. Just trying to make sure that it went along with how the dress fell on her body. Added like shadows towards the end of it to give her body more dimension. This one, you can see the sketch a lot better. I erase it so I can still see the outline of it, but once I put down the marker, it won't show through. And even if it does show through, by the time I use the Prismacolor, you really can't see it. This one I did pretty much the same as the last one. I was trying to add some definition to her hair. I really didn't know what to do except for use a white Prismacolor. I'm also adding shadow to her. I'm also adding shadows to her body. So what I like to do is just make their body one flat color and do all of the shading with Prismacolors. I could probably do some shading with the markers, but it's a lot easier for me to use the Prismacolors. I make less mistakes using the Prismacolors, and I'm able to have a little bit more control over what I do. Anyways, after I'm done shading her body, so I don't think I'm really done at this point. I work on showing how I'm working on shading the dress so you can see how flowy it is. I don't know if you can tell, but her left knee is bent, so the dress is lifted up and you can kind of see the underside of the dress, and that's why that part is black. That was supposed to be shadow, but the marker spread a little bit. I was also trying to add shadow to her outline, like the outline of her dress, but like the camera from my phone, but the camera's like right in front of me, so I don't always have the best view of what I'm doing. So I'm like kind of going outside the lines a little bit, and I try to give her some highlights. Here I'm trying to show the texture in her hair. I don't think that worked out too well. I also tried to give her face some details, which was a mistake. Like, I think at this point I really figured out that I can't do it. I can't give her face details with the given the size that I was drawing this and the materials that I was using. So by the third drawing, I figured out, just don't give them faces. Now this third one is a woman. She's outside and she has a blue A-line dress, I think this is what they're called, with pink flowers. And I don't know why I'm forgetting words now. There's like this pink, it's not tied around, but like a band that separates the top from the bottom. So again, I erased the sketch so that it doesn't show up when I'm finished. Like, this marker was a little bit drippy, that's why there's these 2 dots there. I try to hide it. I don't know how well it works. I just make the whole thing blue because my plan was to draw the flowers over her dress with the Prismacolors. It's a really silky dress, so I left part of it white where the light was really shining on it. I try to show the folds in that strap with the marker, but you can barely see it. I tried to draw the flowers with the Prismacolors, but the blue from her dress was showing through, so the color wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to. So I decided to use a pink Posca pen. I had to do 2 layers of the Posca pen so that the marker wouldn't show through and that it would be opaque. I'm still figuring out how to do folds in clothes, clothing and draping. What I did for this third drawing that I didn't do for the second was I did highlighting in shadows to show the folds. I also went over it again with a darker Prismacolor, and I just added that to show the shadow of her hand. I really like how I did her face a lot better than the first two. I used a dark blue Prismacolor because I didn't have any dark pink for those folds. And now I'm adding leaves. And I just like using the Prismacolor for certain things. I just feel like I have a lot more control. And I'm less likely to make mistakes. But I do like the marker because I can put color down really fast. And this is the last one. She's wearing a sequin dress like the first one, a blue sequin dress. But actually, it's not a dress. It's a top that's kind of has pieces cut out and really long sleeves and a mini skirt that matches with it. So again, I start by putting down the marker as a base. This one I did a little bit different because I was trying to match to the picture. This time I used two different colors for her leg because one leg is in shadow and it looks a lot darker than the other leg. So I used a darker brown for that one. What I maybe should have done but didn't do was make the rest of her, I guess it would be her right, but we see it as left. I should have made that side in shadow and not just her leg. But in the reference photo, her leg is sticking out. Like it's more forward than the other leg. But I also did 2 layers of this marker because it's kind of the only color I had that matched it's the color that matched the dress the best. You can kind of see the inside of her top, and it's lighter, but this is the lightest blue I have in the marker. So I had to do 2 layers to make to make sure the outside looked darker than the inside. Her hair is like almost the same color as her skin, but that's kind of true in the reference photo too. Maybe even more so. And I might have made her head too small for her body. Also, hands was the hardest thing to do with the marker because the marker would still spread a little bit. It doesn't spread too much on this mixed media paper, but it still spreads. So there's just like a limit to how much detail I could put into it. And now I'm adding more shading to her legs and the rest of her body. I think that was my favorite thing to do, just shading their faces and arms and legs. Like that seemed to turn out the best in all the drawings. Like, and even when I made mistakes, I was usually able to fix it or make it less bad. And I'm adding the highlights to her hands and her legs and her chest. I'm also adding some shading underneath the dress, well, just below the skirt, so it doesn't look like the dress is flush with her skin. I guess a jelly roll pen would also be a good option, but I don't have that. All right, so that's everything. What do you think? Am I doing anything not the best way? Also, which of these do you like the best? For me, I like the blue dress with the flowers the best, but I also really like the blue sequin top and skirt. I think that just comes from me doing this more and getting better at it. But what do you think? Also, thanks for watching, and if you'd like, you can follow me on other social media. My Instagram is thtevineblossom, and my TikTok is Erica_J. That's ERICA_JAY. That's it.